Welcome to video tutorial number 2. Here I want to talk about groups and associations. With Ideal Desktop, you can organize a tremendous amount of information. You can organize thousands and thousands of records. It can be contacts, it can be notes. And this core tab called Groups gives you the capacity, a way of organizing those into different pairings or groupings that make sense and make it a little easier to navigate this situation. Here down in the pane below, you'll see that initially highlighted is the group airlines. And off to the right, you can see that there are some lists here. There's a list of different airlines that happen to be already included in the contacts database. I'm going to click on this last one here, and you're going to see that when I click on that, I'm immediately taken back to the contacts tab, which is highlighted here in purple, and I'm shown the details for that particular airline. I can also move back to that original group. I'll see that initial group association here in the right hand pane under groups associated for US Airways. So I'm going to click back here, and that's going to basically take me right back to that individual record that had that individual list. Now to see the list of all the groups again, I'm going to do that by clicking on the Groups tab, and that'll take me back to the entire list of groups, of which there are 15 in this particular database. Now if I look at some of these other groupings here, I see I've got one for airlines, and I've got one, let's look at one for, how about insurance? Down here at the bottom, you'll see that that pops up. I don't have a lot of details on the insurance, but you'll see that I have some associated contacts for insurance. Again, in this right hand pane, the purple pane, you'll see that we have 4 records associated with the group insurance. And I bet if I were to click on one of those, I would be taken back to that contact that's related to that particular insurance group. In this case, I've got a fake record here for an Allstate insurance agent by the name of Betty Traynor. With a fake address and some fake phone numbers and information. This isn't a real person, but yours will be once you start using this tool. Again, if I want to go back to that group insurance, I can click on that right hand pane and I come back to that individual record for groups that initially got me into that tier of organization. And I can look at another insurer. This one happens to be called Ameriplan. I can go back. I can look at this particular record, HealthNet. Might be some details in here about that particular company. Looks like I've got another record here for insurance. Looks like a State Farm insurer. Oh boy, a little more detail here about this individual. And interestingly enough, you'll see that there's some associated notes that go with this particular contact record, which brings me a little bit further in that discussion. With these associations, not only can you use groups to associate something, but you can start to tie in notes with contacts, and you could tie in notes with groups as well. But in this particular case, I've got a couple of note records for this particular insurer. This gentleman named Arnold Thomas. Apparently, looks like we had some sort of a meeting scheduled at one time. Looks like we had a meeting scheduled for November 24th, 2009 at 4 p.m. Looks like we were going to maybe discuss switching to a policy, life insurance policy that might build some savings. So you can see here that I've got details on that particular person. I was able to create that note once upon a time and then attach that to this particular insurance agent. In the next video, we'll show you how to actually create records and make these associations between a note, add associated records, notes, contacts, and groups, bridge all these connections. But what I really want to leave you with here, wrapping up this video, is that the idea behind Ideal Desktop is that this is a very organic sort of an organizational tool, and that means that over the years and as you add more records and you start to find more reasons to use this tool, you will start to find your own purposes for creating a group and to create associations, and really the organization of this database and all of your information will grow and develop on its own. And what's kind of cool about that is you don't have to be very rigid and strict about how you structure your initial groups and how you structure your contacts and what you name things. This is all dynamic, and you can add and delete this stuff at will. You can change the names of these groups. You can add subcategories to them, and you can always add and subtract other associated records. So the idea here is to feel really liberated from having to overthink the development of your database. So let's move on to the number 3 video, the tutorial on actually entering and changing records.